Welcome to Classy by Mavi. Let's sew this beautiful cowl neckline gown with spaghetti straps together. Check the description box on how to draft the patterns. And here are the patterns we'll be using. And also here is the fabric. It's a Duchess fabric. It stretches one way. So the part that will go around the body is the stretchy part. And I'm here folding it accordingly. So I've folded it and I'm ensuring that the part that goes around the body is stretchy. Can you see? After folding and placing the pattern paper on top, I'll be cutting out the front first. Now I'm adjusting the facing area. So I've given a space of about half an inch. And I've flipped it over as you can see. And I'm here tracing out the facing. The facing that will be attached to the neckline. Okay. And I've also traced out the facing. Can you see? So here I'll be adding allowance of 1 inch by the side. Okay, I'll be adding sewing allowance of 1 inch by the side. Now I have added, and for the length I've extended it a little, and now I'm cutting out the front pattern. And here we are simply done cutting out the front pattern. Let's keep the pattern paper aside and check what we've got. Look at the facing area on the neckline area. Can you see? So by the time we attach the facing to the neckline, this is how it's going to be finished. But we'll still separate it from the pattern, from the body first. We'll separate the facing from the body first because we'll be attaching the spaghetti straps, right? So our cowl neckline is already forming. Let's put it aside now and also draft the back. Now for the back, I've also cut out the facing for the back. Can you see? So it was really easy. The contours for the back were not taking cognizance of. Can you see? So this part that deepens in to allow the zipper lay flat was not taken note of. So I cut it out on fold, right? This is because the dress is in form of a free dress. We will not be using zipper. It's stretchy. The fabric is stretchy. So I just cut it out on fold without taking cognizance of the back contour, right? And then talking about the facing for the back, this was how I cut it out. I simply placed the fabric underneath, another fabric underneath, okay, and then I cut it out. So that is it. We have our facing for the back also. And here are the spaghetti straps. Can you see? So I've also cut them out. So that is it for our cutting. Let's now keep the back aside and talk about the front before we go ahead and sew. So for the front, we need to separate the facing area from the main body. So here is it. I've added half an inch allowance before marking out the facing. So I'll just be cutting out accordingly. And here we are done. So what we'll do now, we'll just go and finish up the spaghetti straps. What I'll do, I'll fold it over like this, okay, and then sew down. After stitching down, I'll turn it out. Then we'll now attach it to our facing and our main dress. Okay, so let's go over and sew. Now I'm simply done sewing both straps and I'm here trying to bring it out with a knitting pin. Okay, can you see? So I've turned one out. For the second one, I'll also do the same thing. Okay, can you see the knitting pin I'm using? So I'm using this edge. I'll continue. I'll turn it out the same way I did for the first one. And here my both spaghetti straps are ready. I'll go over and iron them nicely before we continue sewing. And here I'm done ironing the spaghetti straps. Can you see them? It's now time to attach the spaghetti straps to the dress. So here is the front. You measure 1 inch, half an inch. You measure one half an inch inwards like this, and then you place your spaghetti strap like this. Can you see? Can you see? So this half an inch space is for sewing. So you just pin down accordingly. So after first pinning down the spaghetti strap to the dress, you now bring in your facing. Okay, can you see the facing? You bring in the facing and also place it on top of the spaghetti strap on the dress, and you pinned both the spaghetti strap, the facing, and the dress together, just like I'm doing. Can you see? So I'll repeat the same process on this side. First, I mark half an inch inward. Okay, on that marked point, I'll place my spaghetti strap on the body of the dress first, and then I'll place the facing on top of it and pin down accordingly. And now after pinning down, I'll now go ahead and stitch like this, like this. Okay, you ensure that everywhere is aligned while stitching, and then like this. So as you are stitching, you ensure that you are not stitching on the spaghetti strap. You are stitching with only the half an inch allowance given. So I simply stitch and then we continue. And now I've stitched on one side and I've shifted the pin so I can stitch on the main neckline. Okay, I first stitched on the armhole with the half an inch allowance. So now I'm stitching straight on the neckline. And here, as I'm getting close to the second strap, I've shifted the pin also. Okay, so I can stitch past the strap without any obstruction. And now I'm simply trimming off excess allowances. Okay, so I do not want that area to be bulky, so I'm removing the excess fabrics from there, and then I'm simply clipping so that the neckline area and the armhole area will be relaxed. So I'm clipping, as you can see, especially the armhole area, which is a little bit curvy. And as you are clipping, ensure that you clip very close to the stitches, but do not clip on the stitches. Okay, do not cut through the stitches. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm stitching very close to the stitches to ensure a relaxed effect. Okay. So after flipping it over, here is what we've got. Can you see? So it's so relaxed and nice. What we'll now do next is to press down with our hot iron. We'll press it nicely so that it will be very beautiful. And now we have nicely pressed down. Can you see the effect is so beautiful? And also to help my neckline relax this way, I've used the hemming gum. Can you see? Look at it very well. I've used my hemming gum very close to the neckline area. Okay, that's why this part is sticking and staying in place. Okay, so you just place your hemming gum there and iron, make it to stay and allow the neckline relax nicely. So we are done with the front and our cowl neckline has already formed. Next we'll be sewing the back. Now to sew the back, instead of measuring from the side half an inch just like the front, unlike the front, for the back we'll be measuring 4.5 inches from the side inward to attach our spaghetti strap. So I've simply measured here and I'm marking. Okay, then I'll place the spaghetti strap this way. Mind you, it is already attached to the front, so you bring it in like that. Okay, you pin it down and place your facing accordingly. Now, if you don't want to measure 4.5 from the side, you can use your bust span measurements. You trace the midpoint of the back and place your bust span measurements. For instance, if your bust span is 7, from the middle of the back, you measure 3.5 each ways, okay, to place each spaghetti strap. But I'm using the 4.5 inches method, so I'm measuring from this other side again 4.5 inches and simply placing my spaghetti strap here. So I've pinned and I will place my facing. Let me confirm the measurements here. Okay, the measurements on this side wasn't accurate, so I'm taking that again. I've done that and I've pinned down, so let's go over and also sew the back. As you can see, I've pinned the spaghetti straps, the facing and the main fabric together, and I'm sewing just like I did for the front. And here we are also done with the back neckline. Can you see? We have finished the back neckline also nicely, just like we did with the front. We used same hemming gum to make the neckline stay in place. Now it's time for us to join the front and back patterns together by the sides. And here I have pinned the fabrics to stay on the armhole area, and so I'm arranging these other sides to align together. Okay, as you can see, I have pinned from the armhole area, and you can now decide to pin all through, but for me I'll just leave it this way and then go over to the machine and run my stitches by the side. So now I'm simply done running stitches on one side. Okay, so I used 3/4 of an inch. I'll suggest you use half an inch so the allowance will not be too bulky, especially because I'll also go over and weave. I'm using 3/4 because I would love to wear it even when I regain my weight. For now, I lost my weight a little. So I'll still repeat the same process on this other side and then we'll be done with our dress. And now we are simply done stitching on both sides. Can you see? So what is left for this rest is to finish up the raw edges, okay? So I'll finish up with my serger, and also the M-line area will be finished up with my industrial weaving machine. And here is our dress. Beautiful. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share.